I believe that XDC is a must-have for my portfolio, and the reason why is because I hypothetically see it going to the price of $3 during this bull run. Now, of course, that's not financial advice, but how can XDC do this? Some people may say if the fundamentals are bad, and the fundamentals actually aren't bad whatsoever. Take into consideration how, when it comes to the XDC network, it's an enterprise-grade blockchain protocol that is purpose-built for global trade and finance. To simple things down, basically XDC, it's focused on the same things that Ripple, aka XRP, and also Stellar, aka XLM, are focused on, pretty much the same markets. You take a look at the payments market, the global trade and finance market, which are two massive markets, by the way. First of all, the payments market is currently valued at over $2 trillion, and the global trade and finance market is currently already very massive, but it could be even bigger in the future because, according to Mordor Intelligence, the market size of it by 2028 could hypothetically reach up to $5 trillion. So yeah, this is very amazing. The GDP of Canada, back in 2023 was around $2 trillion. So I think this, if anything, really puts into perspective as to just how massive the markets that they're focused on. Some people may think that, okay, when it comes to, XRP, XLM, they're going to be the leaders, but it doesn't mean that there's going to be no third place, right? There's a bronze medal, there's a silver medal, and there's a gold medal. Now, of course, the bronze medal also wins, and I think that right there is XDC. Take into consideration how the XDC network, it is being powered by the XDC protocol. And the amazing thing about the XDC protocol is the fact that it has the ability to be integrated with internal legacy systems, like, for instance, Swift payment databases. Now, if anyone's familiar with the banking world or just knows what Swift is in general, that right there is absolutely massive. I'm not talking about Taylor Swift, the Kansas City Chiefs, and, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl or anything like that. But here's the thing. I do believe that when it comes to this is very amazing, even though I do want the Philadelphia Eagles to win. Besides that point, when I take a look at projects like this, I think it's a no-brainer for me. However, things do get better because the XDC protocol has the ability to integrate data into the blockchain using something called ISO 20022. Now, this is very massive because people are very bullish on projects that sort of have this aspect. And why is this massive? It's because this right here is currently being used by many financial institutions from all around the world for inter-organizational data exchange. So the fact that something like this, again, right, can integrate data into the blockchain using that, that's very fantastic. That right there showcases the forward-thinking mindset that it has. Not to mention, you take a look at the XDC network can currently facilitate over 2,000 transactions per second. So it's not a bad network whatsoever. Focus on the right markets. It's very amazing. When I take a look at this, the way I view it is that it's a must-have, of course, because if I believe in this space, which I do, but then I don't want to acquire XRP or XLM, what do I gravitate towards? Something called XDC. And usually people in this space, they want to acquire things in tandem. They want to get either XLM and XRP, but then if they believe in XLM, they're going to do vice versa, right? However, for me, I'm kind of the opposite. For me, my tandem is like XDC and XCN. The way you take a look at it is that XDC is like the Batman, but of course, Batman has a sidekick in the case of Robin. Robin is XCN for me. I made a very good call on XCN, also XDC too, by the way. I'm not saying there's going to be no pullbacks along the way, but generally speaking, when you take a look at the points when I first started talking about XDC and XCN, I made a very good call. And I've always thought that this space was going to have a massive resurgence because take a look at when people were scared of XRP and all this type of stuff, they thought it was a security because of SEC, Gary Gensler and all this. Even despite that, I never thought that XRP was a security because in my perspective, let's say I acquire XRP, does that automatically mean I acquire a part of Ripple? No. So then how is it a security? And it's not like being a security was necessarily going to be the end all be all anyways. I mean, there's a lot of securities out there, right? But then, of course, it would have to go through a bunch of regulations. It's just a complete nightmare. Just no one wants that. So, of course, everyone was kind of scared of that. And naturally, because of that, not many developers really wanted to join in on this space, if that makes sense. They were focused on creating AI projects, gaming projects, DeFi projects. But then because of that, because of the FUD that occurred throughout all those years, all the attention is pretty much concentrated on 4 projects: XRP, XLM, XDC, and XCN. So it's a blessing in disguise in the grand scheme of things. Now, granted, it wasn't good back then, but then as of right now, because not many developers wanted to join in on this space, now XDC is beginning to have its time to shine. XRP, XLM, of course, but also XDC, XCN. So this right here, I think is very fantastic. This market is just going to get better. And people may think that, yeah, this bull run is going to be bad though. Well, if you have over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history, this bull run, I don't think is going to be bad. 2021, I think we can all agree, was a very fantastic year. But actually, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million. So just imagine that. This is pretty much double. I think this bull run could be so spectacular. And I think XDC is definitely a must-have in my portfolio. If XDC is doing this as of right now, imagine in May, in June or July. It could do a lot better. And we all know that there's still some time hypothetically for altcoins to prove itself, because usually as a worst case scenario, altcoins, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. And the last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year. So 18 months from then is actually around October this year. So again, I think if anything, it showcases there's still some time there. I'm not guaranteeing that this date is going to be super accurate because there's no way to really tell. This is just more of a benchmark or like a guiding point. But I think if anything, it showcases that the journey for XDC could hypothetically be a ways away. Keep in mind, at the price of $3, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $45 billion. Not too bad. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion, BNB at one point reach over 100 billion. And this was at their peak back in 2021 in terms of market cap. So I don't think it's too much to ask for. And keep in mind, they reached this back in 2021. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now we have over 600 million. Yeah, I just think the action that we saw back then could just be amplified in a much more fantastic way this time around. So of course, when I believe in this space, aka the global trade and finance, the payments market, I'm going to believe in something like XDC. It's a must-have in my portfolio, in my opinion. I'm not necessarily saying that I only want to acquire this because that's not the only thing I have in my portfolio. However, I do believe that it has to be one of my foundational pieces because this has great exposure. Keep in mind, the community is very passionate. The community feels like a meme coin in a sense, like the passion, the drive. And at the same time, it's actually not a meme coin. So this is like a best of both worlds. A very strong and passionate community, very solid project, and good exchange listings. This is such a no-brainer pick for me. We've seen this basic recipe work time and time again for many projects out there, again, right, that have a good community, good fundamentals, and also focus on the right markets. And, you know, having this great exposure, we've seen this blueprint work time and time again. And when it comes to XDC, I don't see why it would be any different. I think it's one of the best projects out there. And reaching the price of $3 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me. I mean, imagine once Bitcoin reaches that next level of 150,000, 200,000, 250,000, maybe even beyond. Yeah, I just highly doubt that XDC is going to do bad. $3 still my price target for this bull run. And it's definitely a must-have in my portfolio. I think it's a no-brainer pick for me. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.